Hello everyone, how's it going? Just thought I'd do a video on something slightly different. I decided to go off grid with my shed and a few other bits and pieces. I'm off work at the minute, I've had a new knee and I'm getting bored. Been about 8 weeks at home so far, and a couple more weeks to go and I should be back at work hopefully. But at the minute I'm just sort of sitting around the house, can't really do much, and a little bit bored, so I need to get back to work quick because I'm starting to spend money now. So anyway, getting back to it, yeah, I thought I'd go off grid, and I wanted to do it as cheap as possible, and I've been looking into all sorts really. You know, let's just move this round a little bit. I think it's moved just slightly. Yeah, and yeah, go off grid, save a bit on the electric, and get all my radio gear and stuff working on it. I mean, at the end of the day, all of my radio gear, it all works on 12 volts, so not so much of an issue. I'll just build a panel for 12 volts, run all my stuff off the battery. I'm going to use car batteries to start with, because them lithium cells are a little bit expensive and I'm only just trying it. So anyway, I'll show you what I've got, and for as cheap as I could possibly get it, because I didn't really want, like I say, I'm off work, I didn't want to be spending much money, so yeah, I wanted to get the best stuff I could get for as cheap as I could get. I'm needing 2 more solar panels. I want to do a 400 watt system. I've been looking at these big, you know, you get these big 400 watt solar panels. The only problem is then is you need like charge controllers and stuff like that. I didn't really know much about solar, and I started watching videos, you know, while I was bored, and thought, oh, this is a good idea, and done a lot more research on YouTube, and anyway, this is what I've ended up with. I'll go over it all. I'll just get this, and that's it. I'll just pick it up, move it around, and see if I can, because I'm not very good with these. I've got a new gimbal, so you'll have to bear with me. Right, I've got right, let's start with the solar panel. Right, there's one 100 watt solar panel. That was brand new. Got that off of Facebook Marketplace. Nice bloke. He was selling it. He's got a boat. He showed me his boat, but it was just too big for what he wanted. He bought 2 50 watt solar panels. I'm assuming that's probably half of that, so he could have one each side of the cabin. Because his cabin sort of like it was curved, and it wouldn't fit on. So he sold that. I got that for £60. It had never been out of the box. It's the first time it's been out of the box. So £60 for that, which I thought weren't too bad. Don't know what they are new. I'm assuming they're about £100. Then I went and got this to go with it. This was, once again, this was £60. This was a bloke over in Castleford. I'm presuming he just buys things and sells them. He didn't know much about it. Once again, brand spanking new. Brand new in the box. It says that cost £82 4p when it was new. So I got that 22 quid cheaper than new. And then I thought, right, I need some inverter to convert this power, and let's just move that down. This was on Marketplace for £50. I went all the way over to Sheffield, which took me from where I am in Doncaster. It was a fair old drive, to be honest, but just short of an hour, I think, to get there. Once again, really nice bloke. He was building a camper van, and this was in it. He was doing something different. He wanted it sort of like, he wanted it on grid. It was all off grid system that was in there. and I don't think it was just giving him what he wanted. Now these, I've looked it up. He didn't know what it was. I've looked it up. These are sort of advertised for 6,000 watts. There's quite a few different models about. This one's got like a screen on the back. I'm not really good with this gimbal, I'm afraid, so you'll have to bear with me. It's got like a display there and two things, and they're claiming that's 6,000 watts. Now, the bloke went to show me it working. He plugged it in, and it went pop. And he just went, "Oh, right. Sorry for wasting your journey. You know, you might as well just take it with you." I thought, to be honest, like I say, I didn't know much about them, and I just thought to myself, well, you know, it's worth a go. I felt sorry for him. It was 50 quid that he lost out on. He didn't, you know, he weren't overly bothered. I think he was more bothered about the journey. He was just something, he was either going to sell it or throw it away, but I felt sorry for him that he blew up. But I took it apart. What happened was there was 4 40 amp fuses inside, and they had all blown, and also there was a diode that was going across the circuit board to 4 capacitors, and that had completely exploded as well. So I got 4 new fuses, and I went on eBay and got a whole pack of diodes. I think they come to about £2.60 with postage. I think the postage was dearer than the diodes, but a little bit of soldering, and I managed to get it working. Looking at the wires inside though, for the outlets, I mean, they're you know, they're sort of really thin. You know, I might even replace the wires to the plug outlet sockets on these, because I wouldn't really trust them with low voltage, let alone high voltage. They're so small and thin. I should have really left the top off so you could see, but yeah, just yeah, too thin of wires there. And obviously, you know, for something that's 6,000 watts, probably I would say 3,000 it would be with the 6,000 surge. Inside here, I mean, you'd want, for that sort of power, you'd want really thick wire, thick copper wire. And when you open this up, all you've got is 2 very thin wires, pretty much like what you'd get on a LiPo battery, probably a 2200 mAh lithium ion model battery. So really, I wouldn't trust this with anything over, well, I wouldn't go over 1,000 watts with this, to be honest, because it's definitely not made for that inside. Although it looks big and everything else, when you take it apart, circuit board only comes to here. Rest is just a bit of wire, just really thin, cheap. Yeah, and from what I gather is they're quite expensive. I've seen one going on Marketplace for £200, so whatever they are new, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't trust it with big voltage. I wouldn't plug it into a microwave. The bloke reckoned he ran a kettle on it, but I wouldn't even trust the kettle on it. And then I didn't need another inverter, but this one come up. This was £40 on Marketplace. These go for a lot more. Bloke had it advertised for 60. I just thought I'd be cheeky and see if he'd take 40, and he got back to me about 2 hours later saying, yeah, I'll take 40 on it, because I'd rather take less on it than answer a load of questions. So I'm presuming he got loads and loads of questions about it. Now this looks actually a better inverter, and I'll probably use this one for me setup. I might put both of them on and just wire them both up to a few batteries, and just have separate outlets. You know, I'll plug some different things, and I'll know which one I can use. Just in case I was going to have too many for that, and I might use this just to power some lights with. Right, and then next, Oh dear, this gimbal's not very, it goes very slow and it's all over the place. Sorry about this. Right, I've got another solar panel, Energy, brand spanking new. Once again, the bloke bought this one for his camper van. Never been out of the box. And it come with, it was a bit of a kit, and it come with everything you need. Cables to connect the solar panel. It come with the mounting brackets, which the other one didn't, so I'm going to have to get some mounting brackets for that. I think they're about a tenner. And another 20 amp charge controller. Still got the wrapping on. Never been out of the box. Not sure if that's any better than that, but I'll probably wire them both up onto a big board, and when I expand it a bit, I might have 2 strings of 4 panels, and I'll run 4 off of each one, and then I can just expand them a bit and have one inverter maybe for each. I don't know how it all works yet. I've got to do a bit more research, but that's the plan so far anyway. Getting back, like I say, £90, and it come with everything. So I got a pretty good deal. I think I got a good deal, because these alone probably might be around £80 new, maybe a little bit cheaper, but you know, the kit itself I've seen going for nearly £300, so you know, I think I got a good deal on that. Yeah, so that's my solar setup so far. Let's just turn this back round now. I'll just bring this up. I'll have to get used to this gimbal, I'm afraid. Let's just plant that back down. I'll come and sit back down. Yeah, I'll have to get used to doing some editing, video editing, and then I can make these videos look a little bit better. But basically, that's what I've got so far. I'm waiting on some cables and stuff to wire up the single solar panel, and they're all going to go on top of a little place in the garden, and I'm going to run the wires down from there and into my shed. And I've got a big piece of plywood to screw it all on. Like I say, I'm just waiting for some cables, some switches, some fuses, and some wire, and hopefully within the next sort of few weeks I'll have my shed up and running all on 12 volts, and if I need 240 for anything, I've got plenty. I've got plenty there. I've got a 1500 watt inverter, and one that obviously, you know, is a bit. Like I say, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it with more than 1000 watts. You know, because you're looking 300 amps, something like that. 300 amp output. Them wires in. The thing is that, you know, when you see these inverters, and I've looked at a lot of them on, you know, on YouTube and that, and the thickness of the wire, I mean, you know, it's really thick stuff. I don't know what sort of, what do they call it, 0 gauge wire. Now, I've looked at a 6000 watt inverter, they're twice the size of this one, and when they've opened them up, there's a lot more in them, and I mean, going from the terminals that you put your battery to, you know, they're actually got thick lumps of metal soldered to the circuit board, not even wires. You know, so they're like 5mm thick of solid copper bar soldered directly to the circuit board, or they've got like what you'd use like jump lead wires inside, or two lots of them soldered to the circuit board for a 6000 watt inverter. These, you know, what you'd get on just like a battery, just very, very small, not car battery, you know, like what you'd get on a small lithium battery that you'd use for a model aeroplane or something like that, which I would not, you know, that amount of power going through it, 300 amps, you know, 6000 watts, no, definitely not. There'd be a fire somewhere, I'm pretty much sure. So, and I should imagine it'd get very hot inside. So yeah, definitely wouldn't trust that. But apart from that, I don't know much else about solar. Like I say, I'm on the lookout now for two more panels. I want a 400 watt system, two batteries. I've got one car battery, and I want to match the batteries pretty much the same. So you know, it's a 95 amp hour battery out of my Mercedes car. So I'm gonna be on the look for one of those. There was one for £35, but it was about an hour and a half's drive away, and I thought 3 hour round trip, 35 quid, it'd probably cost me that in diesel. So no, I thought I'd leave that. Something's going to come up cheaper. Yeah, and if that all works out well, then I might expand it a bit more, have my shed off grid, and if I like it that much, I'll probably invest in getting the whole house off grid if I can, because you know, even though it'll cost quite a lot of money, I should imagine, you know, there's plenty of second-hand gear going about. People want them off their houses. You know, I've seen a few adverts where it's like free if you want to take it down, come and get it. You know, solar panels and stuff. But the only thing with that is you don't know how long they've been on the roof for. You don't know much about them, and you know, it's a bit of a gamble, isn't it? You know, all right, they might be free. They've got to go back up on your roof, so you know. Obviously, I'm not an installer. I've got my stepson is an electrician, so he'd probably wire it all in for me. But I definitely need to pay someone to put it back up on my roof, because I won't be getting up there, not with my bad knee. So yeah. What else can I say? Yeah, like, if it all works out and I'm happy with it, I probably will try and get the whole house off grid. And I'd rather give thousands and thousands of pounds to me and invest it in my house, even if it only lasts 25, 30 years, rather than giving it to the bloody electric company now, because they're absolutely taking a mick, aren't they? That's another story altogether. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to start going this way. You know, going off grid as much as possible, and I don't blame them. I'm certainly going to try it, and I'll keep everyone updated and let you know how I get on. I probably, you know, like I was saying earlier, most of my stuff runs on 12 volts. Even my big radio, it's all 12 volt, so I can't see the point in plugging in a power supply into an inverter to run it to convert it back to 12 volts again. I might as well just get, you know, a small fuse box, a couple of 20-30 amp fuses, and run all my radio gear directly from the batteries, which will just get charged up by solar, and yeah, save a few quid, even if it's a couple of quid. You know, that's why I want to get it cheap now. But when you think about it, altogether, what we spent 100. It's just, I should imagine, with everything I've bought, probably around £200 so far. Put a couple more panels on. I have seen a couple of panels brand new, bought for a camper van, and unfortunately it's right away down south, and she only wants £50 for both of them. I'll see if she's going to post them. If she posts them, it might be worth, you know, even if it's 20 quid in postage for two panels, £50. If it's like 70, 80 quid postage, it might work out, you know, okay, because it's more than that just for one panel, isn't it? But yeah, once I've got the 4 panels, I'll probably use the 2 panels. I'll probably just try it out. I'll probably just do like a quick setup, try it out, see what it's like. Won't mount the panels to anything, slam up against the garden fence because it's south facing anyway. And the roof that I'm going to be putting them on is south facing, and it gets the sun all day long. And summertime, it should be pretty good because it's all open here, and yeah, I'm in quite a good spot for the sun for that. So yeah, so I'm going to try that just temporarily. I might do a video where I'm just trialing it just to see, and then once I've got all 4 panels, I'm going to put them all on the shed roof and install it all properly, and I'll do another video on that. That could be a few weeks to go. Hopefully I'll be back at work then, and when I've got like a bit of spare time at the weekend, I'll get up there and do a proper setup and do a video, and you'll be able to see it all working. Anyway, I shall catch you all later, and nice to see you again. It's been a while, hasn't it? And I'll see you all soon.